Good afternoon, Civitans, and our guests today. Also to the people who will be watching this on our internet feed for the candidate forum for the North Carolina Legislature. We are honored today to have guests, all of the candidates for the House districts. What we're going to do is we're going to start with 2-minute introductions, and I think what we can do is we'll start by rotating afterwards with questions, and we'll give 60 seconds on the first question to be answered, and we'll see if that's enough time. We can add to it in subsequent questions. Senator Clark, would you like to begin with an introduction? Next is Patsy Keever, who was recently appointed to fill out an unexpired term from Bruce Goforth, who had been in office for, I believe, 5 terms, and she is running in House District 115.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate all of you coming up tonight and being politically active. So on behalf of all of the candidates who are running, we thank you for being here and having this opportunity. I am Patsy Keever. I'm running in House District 115. I am delighted to have been appointed to the legislature, so it feels good to be a representative right now. But as you know, the legislature is not in session, and so I'm not able to be involved in any of the votes, any of the real decision-making process. I am happily working on some constituency issues, and that has been interesting and rewarding. I am running on 4 main issues. The economy, we know, as Susan just mentioned, is in a shambles. We've got to get people back to work. Education, I was a teacher for 25 years. I know that education is the foundation of our democracy. The environment, we've got to use our natural resources, we've got to protect them and use them to bring in some manufacturing jobs. And the 4th is equality. We still know that there are barriers in our society based on age, race, sexual orientation, religion, many things. So we need to take a new mindset to Raleigh. Now, whereas I'm working on many of the same issues that most candidates are working on, I think that they all need to be working on, I want to tell you what I bring to the table, and I think I bring 3 important things. The first one is experience. As I said, I was a teacher for 25 years. Taught everything from kindergarten to soldiers in the Army. When my late husband John was in the Army and Vietnam was going on and they were taking warm bodies just to send them over to Vietnam, they were taking young men that didn't even know how to read. And during that time, as a young married officer's wife, I was able to teach some of those gentlemen. And then I went back when Johnny was in, oh, that's much too fast. Okay, so the experience, the teacher, the county commissioner for 12 years, a leader in the community, a person who has been working with people for 40 years in this community, knows how to work on a team, knows how to negotiate, compromise, look at budgets, cares very much for the people, and wants your vote if you're in District 115. Thank you.
I'm going to start with a question because I think the testimony of this club, the importance of education, is absolutely crucial, is why we give out $21,000 in scholarships to high school graduating or student graduating from each of our 7 public high schools in Buncombe County. So I think that speaks to our commitment to public education. My question is, and you each touched on education and jobs, but how do you plan to maintain continuous improvement for our public schools, community colleges, and our world-class university system?
As a teacher for 25 years in the classroom, actually working day to day with the students and the families of those students, I understand what our needs are, and I know that we do not need to cut classroom size. We do not need to raise classroom size. So one of my issues would be to keep classrooms as small as possible. If I know that education is going to have to take some cuts, as well as everything else in the budget, and I would make those cuts at the college level in administration. I'm reading that that's a possibility. That's where we have more money than perhaps we need. I know it's not the classroom. We need as many classroom teachers. We cannot afford to cut classroom teachers. We need to fund the community colleges completely. We need to fund things like the director for the AB Tech incubator, because that's where we have jobs being created. I would put focus on early childhood education even before the children get to the public schools, because if we can raise children who are stable, we'll all be better off.
The question would be, obviously the economy is just incredibly important. The recession that began in 2007, everyone has seemed to say that it's the deepest recession since the Great Depression. I believe that North Carolina lost 20% of its revenue, partly by losing the headquarters for Wachovia Bank, going back to California for Wells Fargo. A lot of high-paying jobs, a lot of other things that were paying in revenue into the state's budget to pay for education, to pay for economic development. The question following on that, as we come out of the recession, what is the proper role of government, and what should we be doing to bring in more business to our state?
Thanks. Bench, you ready? All right, I would agree with everything Susan said. I think small businesses are what's going to bring us out of this doldrums that we're in, but I also think that there are things that I would like to repeat, that we need to fully fund our community colleges, because that's the area that trains our young people coming out of school who do graduate from high school, and also people that need retraining. Our community colleges are just vital to our community. I met with Advantage West a week or so ago and found out that the community colleges throughout Western North Carolina are excellent. I knew that AB Tech was fabulous, but I didn't realize that they were so good all over the county, all over the region. We need to support loans for entrepreneurs. We need to make it easier for them to start their businesses, give them the support they get from Mountain BizWorks and from Advantage West. And another thing I'd like to throw in is industrial hemp. Now, there are two new green building materials that I have learned about recently and visited. One is a hemp house that belongs to our former mayor, Russ Martin. Hemp is a product, industrial hemp, not smoking hemp, but industrial hemp is a product that could be grown by our farmers. It would be a new product. It would be better than tobacco. It's sustainable, renewable, and it's used for building. Another one is CLT, forget what the C is, laminated technology. But these are both ideas that can use the natural resources that we have and bring in money for all of us.
But I'm going to go ahead and give you each 90 seconds for a closing remark. I'm going to begin with Susan and go this way and then come back this way so that we...
All right, I too will stand up, and I'm sorry when we talked before that some of you may have been left out. When I was up here before, I got into the experience that I've had, but I left out the other two things that I'm planning to bring to the table. Along with my experience, I bring an open mind. I know that we need some new ideas. We need to think differently about what we do in Raleigh. I'm proud to be about to serve with Jane and with Susan in the legislature. I'm proud of what our Western delegation has done, and I want very much to be a part of that delegation. I think that we need to embrace technology to save money. We need to do prevention programs to save money. And along with my open mind and new ideas that I hope to be able to embrace, I bring a positive attitude. I know we're in trouble. I know that we have a $3 billion deficit that we're looking at. But I think it can be done. I think if we work together and we work across the aisles, that if we compromise in a few places, but not so many that we let our principles go by the wayside, that we'll do very well. I ask for your vote on November 2nd, and I thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
And thank you to the candidates. We thank you for being here. We especially are proud because our pledge as Civitans is to vote in every election. All of our principles are based on civic involvement and support for our country and our principles. We thank you because without you and your service in all the forms that you've mentioned, this state would not be as great as it is. And that goes for the generations of people who've come before us and for all the work that this club has done and we hope to do in the future. So we ask anyone who's watching this to come join us on Tuesdays at noon at Trinity Episcopal Church. Our membership is open. We look forward to having new members, and we would look forward to you coming and visiting with us. This will be on the internet, and you're welcome to, we'll send you a link to it, and you're welcome to share it.